everybody, it's Lindsay. Today I am bringing you a video I hope that you find really informative and helpful because I want to help you guys read more. Now everybody has a busy life and it doesn't matter if you have kids or you're in school or just working a lot, we all have a ton to do. But obviously you're here because you love reading and you want to find out how to squeeze it in. Well, I'm here to help you, don't worry. Now there are already a lot of videos on YouTube about how to read more and reading with a busy life and things like that. But what I'm sharing in this video are some psychological tips and tricks to utilize in your life to increase the amount of times you spend reading, and also some practical things to apply as well. The first psychological tip I have for you guys to help you read more is to set your mind to the task. Now I know that sounds all hibbledy-pibbledy and obvious, but it is very, very important. Your body is not going to do anything that your mind already doesn't tell it to do. So you need to wake up every morning with the mindset of that I am going to find time to read today, and there are not any excuses. Scientific studies have shown that if you say something enough, you start to believe it. So if you wake up every morning and you're like, okay, I am reading today at 2 o'clock for 30 minutes and it's happening. If you say that, then you are more likely to actually do that thing. The next thing you need to do is get a little bit self-analytical and find out what best suits your reading needs. The first thing you need to analyze is what type of reader you are. Are you fast? Are you slow? Do you need music? Do you need silence? Some people can only read throughout the day at certain times because of certain life responsibilities. So if you only have night reading versus day reading, you need to figure that out. Once you've created a profile of what kind of reader you are, then logically you need to find a book to read. Now it's very important to spend your time reading what you enjoy. There's nothing worse than a reading slump initiator than finding a book that is not your genre, not your pace, not the tropes you like. You need to find something you like. A lot of times, especially for people who don't read a lot and watch a lot more TV shows and movies, it's very, very important to find books that kind of mirror those type of genres of movie and TV shows that you like. So for example, my mom really loves Lifetime and Hallmark movies. She loves the domestic dramas and the romances, but I would never recommend for her to pick up like a high fantasy or a sci-fi. Obviously, she's gonna need a chick lit book or a romantic comedy to really get something she enjoys. Okay, so you've decided to do it. You've got the motivation, you've done the psychological profile, and you know all about your reading habits. Now you need to figure out what format works best for you. If you are a super busy worker or a mom or someone who is on the go all of the time, maybe you have a long commute to work, what's gonna work best for you is audiobooks. Now audiobooks can be scary because I know a lot of people aren't like technologically advanced, that's definitely me, and they just are really expensive. Most of your local libraries will have programs and apps that you can download that help you get audiobooks for free. I know that I read about 3 to 5 audiobooks a month just solely from my library and I don't have to pay a dime. Audiobooks are a great way to squeeze in some reading even when you don't think you're doing it. I can listen to audiobooks when I'm cleaning the house, taking the dog for a walk, in the shower, whatever it is. You'd honestly be amazed by how many books you can now complete in a month just by listening to audiobooks, because it's like you're not even reading, you're doing something else, but you actually are. Now another great format is ebooks. I don't personally use them, but they work really well for a lot of people, especially people that don't want to carry around big heavy books all day. You can just have your tablet, your Nook, your Kindle, whatever, and you can read on the go. Whether you do physical, audio, or ebook, it doesn't really matter. It's all reading. Just find what works best for you because it will really help increase the amount of pages you read per day. All right, so we are all psychology geniuses now, and we are all super aware of our own habits. So now we can move into the practices. So my first practical tip for you guys is to always have a book with you. Again, we talked about the format. It doesn't matter which one. Just always have that device or the book with you so you can get in the page numbers, waiting in line. I was gonna say at a traffic light, but really don't read and drive. That's really dangerous. I really feel like I have probably finished the equivalent of a book or two just by reading in between, like maybe appointments or if I'm stuck somewhere and I have a book with me. It really does add up. Another tip I have is to set specific times around the day in which you can sit down and read. Now this calls back to the reader profile that we already made where you know what certain times of day you have to read. So say if you only have morning times, then you need to read from 10:45 to 11 o'clock. And if that's all you had, then those minutes are where you're reading and doing nothing else. Now if you're the reader that likes to read before you go to bed, but then you find yourself falling asleep every night before you even get 2 pages in, maybe around like, I don't know, like 9:30, 10 o'clock, get rid of the distractions, cut off the TV, silence the phone, throw your kid outside in the dumpster, whatever you need to do to get those few minutes into yourself to read. My final tip that I highly recommend to help you read more is watch BookTube. Now that seems counterproductive because you're like, well, if I'm watching videos, I'm obviously not reading. This is true. But when you're watching BookTube, it's kind of like doing research and you're learning about the genres, the books, the authors, the things that you're really interested in. And really you're helping pick your next read. Again, you don't want to be stuck reading a book or a genre that you don't like. So if you watch a lot of BookTube, then you can make your own personal TBR and you can pile up books that you know you want to buy or you want to read in the future. This way you're not going long periods of time in between reads and can finally tackle that massive TBR pile. Alrighty guys, so that's all I have for you today. I hope you found this video helpful and you're able to utilize some of the tips and tricks that I mentioned and really increase your reading and get those books read that you want to read. Let me know down in the comments if you have any tips and tricks yourself. I would love to hear them. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!